Hey there, friends. Good morning. Doug Meyer here. Welcome to Morning Pause. So the other day, somebody asked me, hey, how do you come up with the topics that you talk about on Morning Pause? And I said, well, they kind of come a couple of different ways. Sometimes it's just, this thing that's happening that you just got to talk about. Everybody's talking about it. And then sometimes it's me just selfishly sharing kind of what I'm going through. And then sometimes it is like an intersecting moment where things are going on in life around me and in relationships with me or at church here where I work. And so that's kind of the case for today. I don't think we've ever talked about this on Morning Pause. We're going to talk a little bit about divorce. Hey, won't that be fun? A good buddy of mine's going through divorce. And then the other day I talked to a stranger dude who is going through a divorce. And it just kind of reminded me and has kind of got my head into a different place about all of that. So I thought, you know what? Let's talk about that for a minute. So I've been divorced. And, a lot of people know, like, the date they were divorced. I don't really. So I'm going to just say I've been divorced 10 years, give or take. And here's what I've learned, I guess, basically. Some marriages end. Right? And most people who get married don't go into it thinking, hey, I wonder when this marriage is going to end. We, super romanticize it, this, that, and the other, and we have all these scripts in our head about marriage being forever and always, till death do us part, so forth and so on, right? So we're living into that script for a while. And then, marriages end. Some end suddenly, for all sorts of different reasons, and some end slowly, just a long, slow, painful break. And we're not going to talk about all that today. We're going to talk about then what happens. And this is partly my experience and partly what I've observed in others. You wake up a couple of days or weeks later and you find yourself kind of in this, what I'm going to just call it, ditch. I love metaphors. So we're going to talk about ditch life. And, most ditches are, right? They capture that which is kind of runoff. And you just find yourself there. And it's yucky and you're sad and you're mad and just not a really happy place to be. And so you kind of are just there. You go through life, but at the end of every day you go back to your ditch because that's just your comfortable place. And some people stay in that ditch for a really long time. Matter of fact, some people just go ahead and reside there. And then there are others who kind of just one day go, I think I'm tired of my ditch. I think it's time to move out of my ditch. Well, that right there, just the act of deciding, that is the beginning of the movement out of the ditch, right? Sometimes you have to keep deciding for a while. I did. Now, I don't think I like the ditch. No, I'm pretty sure I don't like the ditch. So how am I going to get out of this ditch? And part of that is the beginning of a series of choices, of realizing, well, for me to get out of this ditch, it probably means I'm going to need to do some work. And I'm going to need to maybe learn the way out. And how do I go about doing that? So again, that's a whole new series of lessons of, all right, I don't like ditch life. I'm going to get out of ditch life. How do I get out of ditch life? Am I going to learn? Am I going to have to crawl? Am I going to build a ramp, a ladder, rope? I mean, all these different movement exercises, right, from point A to point B. Do I have the tools I need? You look around your ditch and you think, well, I have some of the stuff, but I don't have all the stuff. So what am I going to need to learn? And each one of those kind of moments is actually a step of getting, I think, out of the ditch. I remember looking back at that now and thinking each one of those kind of lessons kind of made the day a little bit better because I think it began to create hope. So let me just talk for just a little minute about hope. Hope is a word that we use a whole lot where I work in church work. But I think you can also create hope. Hope doesn't just kind of come sprinkling down on you from like fairy dust. I think hope is the result of work that is progressive, work that begins to show results, work that is that movement from point A to point B that begins to get you out of the yuck where you were. And so when you begin creating hope, hope feeds hope. And so there's a cyclical nature that begins to happen. Pretty soon you realize you're halfway up out of the muck. Here's the funny thing that happens over on the sideline. So there are some people who really want you to stay in the yuck because they're in the yuck and they're a little scared that you're getting up and getting out of the yuck. Then there are other people who are super mad at you still from, getting a divorce, and they think for some reason you deserve to be in the yuck, and they're going to just, do what they can from the sidelines to either. Sometimes it feels like they're literally like, you've leaned your ladder on the side of the ditch and you're about to crawl out, and they're like, no, you don't. You're going back in the ditch. And then eventually one day, you're out of your ditch, right? And I think what we're going to do is we're going to save post-divorce ditch life for another episode. But I just want to be a cheerleader for you right now and say, if you're in the ditch, you can get out of the ditch. If you're in a sucky marriage, don't stay in an unhealthy marriage. Don't stay there because of other people's expectations. I think that's torture. That's just, man. And then sometimes, like I said earlier, just horrible things happen. There's betrayal and lies and dishonesty and abuse, and nobody deserves to live and stay in that kind of crap. So get out of there. I want to read to you out of a little book that was given to me. So one of the things you're going to find if you're getting a divorce is people are going to give you all sorts of advice. And when you're in the middle of it, you don't want to hear it. But later on, you come back upon these books, and they're like, oh, maybe I should have read that while I was in a divorce. So this is from a lady. Her name's Maggie Smith. Keep moving. This is all written from The Voice of Experience. She says, get back up. Dust yourself off. Remember that you're playing the long game and trust that over time, the good days will outnumber the bad. Do what you can to make this day more livable than yesterday. Do what you can. Do what you can. Be gentle on yourself, but do a little something. Then one more, and then we'll stop. Don't wait for your life to magically come together. It's your work to do. Catch that? It's your work to do. Every day, every moment, you're making your life from scratch. Today, take one step, however small, toward creating a life you can be proud of. Today, take one step, as I would say, out of the ditch, right? So if you or somebody you know or love is in the midst of this ditch life, let me know. I'd love to be a cheerleader for them and, do what I can. It's hard, but it's going to get a whole lot better. Man, I'm a whole lot happier. My ex-wife, I think, is a whole lot happier. And, it's not the worst thing in the whole world, actually, to be honest with you. So hopefully that brings you a little bit of encouragement today. And perhaps this was for you today. Maybe this is the word you needed to hear. So go out there and decide if today's the day you want to start getting out of your ditch. What do you say? God, creator, lover, sustainer, thank you for all the seasons of our lives that you are present. Amen. Hey guys, if you got a little something out of this, share it with a friend. Add something in the comments about your own life, your own struggle. And I don't know, maybe have some tips for getting out of ditches. So until next week, take care.